This is PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture. PopX is not affiliated with, nor endorsed by Lucasfilm, Walt Disney Pictures, Marvel Entertainment, DC Comics, or any other mentioned franchise or brand. The opinions expressed are of each individual, and solely do not reflect PopXcast. Sit back, relax, put on your Ninja Turtle onesie, and warm up your chimichangas. This is PopXcast. You are listening to PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture.
PopXcast.
Here we go!
PopXcast.
I was born in it, molded by it.
PopXcast. No strings on me. Autobots, transform. I'm Batman. By the power of Grayskull. PopXcast. We're doomed.
Goal here at Tyrell. More human than human is our motto.
Here's Johnny. Never had a pet pony.
Hasta la vista, baby.
PopXcast.
Captain's log supplemental.
Negasonic Teenage. What the
I am the one who knocks.
Excelsior!
And that was Mr. Stan Lee bringing us in here. Hey guys, my name is Joe Burke, and as you can tell, this is not Austin Burke. This is Alex Burke.
Hi.
Who are you?
Oh, I guess I'm an outsider lately because usually I'm in bed
Wait.
by this point.
Let's back up. I think you're an insider.
Well, yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I guess I still am. I don't know.
So Alex is filling in for Austin, and we want to give Austin was in a little bit of a fender bender, my co-host tonight. So we want to give a big shout out to my co-host with the most, Mr. Austin. Hope you're well. Hope you're safe. Hope everything's good to go. Also, if you guys tuned in last week, we did a really cool show about the rise of females in pop culture. If you liked that show, or if you didn't get a chance to check it out, be sure to head over to iTunes, click on that download button, and subscribe, and be sure to check it out. Yes, we are sending all of our love over to Austin. Just a couple things right off the top of the bat here, and then we'll get right into Mr. Chris Wink's interview. I want to remind everybody, May the 4th this week, coming up. Oh, yeah. May the 4th be with you. This Wednesday is official Star Wars Day, so get your geek on in true Star Wars fashion. Also, just a couple days later on Thursday, we do have Captain America Civil War coming out, which we are so excited for. And yours truly gets a chance to go see it on the 5th on Thursday night, but it comes out Friday, May the 6th. And if you thought it couldn't get even more jam-packed, May the 7th, free comic book day. Now, this is like the pinnacle of nerd fandom. You get to dress up, go to your favorite comic book shop, get free comics. Hey, it's awesome. And be sure to check out freecomicbookday.com for this year's upcoming releases. And just a quick plug, just a reminder, X-Men Apocalypse May 27th is coming out. But that catches us up with all of the stuff that you need to know about. Right now, we're going to invite our man of the hour, Mr. Chris Wink, one of the co-founders of Blue Man Group. Go ahead and call in, Chris, if you can. He is a co-founder of Blue Man Group, and he and I have had so many opportunities and just so many things that we've worked on in the past. It's been truly an honor just to be able to be just a part of his team and just to be able to collectively collaborate in so many ways. And this is truly a big honor for us. And we really thank Chris for coming in. And
you do that?
And look at that.
Hey.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, Chris.
Okay, Mom. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.
Bye, Mom. Hey, man, welcome to the show, dude.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Honored to be here.
Is this a little different for you?
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of this, but it's good. Now you're giving me a little education as usual.
Yeah,
Joe,
I'm so sorry. I'm a nerd. I just can't help it.
What? God bless the nerds.
That's awesome.
Wait a minute. Everything just disappeared.
No, you're fine. It's just in another tab. You can find me. Find the tab, Chris. You can find the tab. Let's all send vibes to Chris right now as he finds the tab. All right, so Chris, we're
back to scheduling program.
Back to your regularly scheduled programming. Thank you so much, Chris, for joining us. This is truly an honor, and yeah. So
I see some of the chat people help me get the tab with their vibes.
Yeah, the blue vibes are coming through for you, Chris.
Yeah, they vibe me in.
Well, let's just go ahead and dive right into this if we can. With the evolution of Blue Man Group albums, from the innovative sounds of audio, which happens to be one of my personal favorite, to the rock arena anthems of the Complex, where would you say that the new album 3 could be found in the full spectrum of Blue Man Group music progression?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I mean, for sure, we wanted to push the pendulum back over to the original sound a little bit, and get back to real instrumental music, real primal, just that basic battery of instruments. But then we wanted to add a little something to it, a couple of new instruments, and also we use the digital techno electro sounds mixed in, and but still trying to keep, for the most part, a kind of a primal vibe. But that collision was what we were really interested in experimenting with. But still on the spectrum, closer to audio really than a Complex.
Yeah. I know that I had a distinct honor to actually preview the album just a few weeks before it came out, and I was blown away, dude. It felt like I was back in Chicago or one of the older theaters in 1999 or 2000, and it was just like that breath of fresh air feeling. And not to discredit anything that you've done before, but it was just kind of nice to hear new sounds, new instruments, and kind of that old spaghetti Western sound that a lot of us, I want to say super fans kind of liked. But it's really awesome to see how the creative process has evolved from that.
And that's just, with the spaghetti Western sound is really near and dear to us too. I mean, it's something about I just am a fan of that Morricone kind of sound, but there's also something about that sound that really fits the Blue Man character. I mean, when we make an album, the Blue Man's really not there. Or when you listen to the album, the Blue Man has to be there in your eyes when you close your eyes, And nothing really, for me, conjures the Blue Man. Obviously, PVC and drums conjure. You can picture the Blue Man playing, but the spaghetti Western is the mood of the Blue Man for me. It conjures for me the sense of the characters moving through space and thinking about what to do. And so I really think that spaghetti Western kind of vibe is really part of the DNA of Blue Man. We were drawn to it instinctively from the very beginning. And I think it's as integral to the character and the project as a PVC, pipe.
I was just about to say it's just like a PVC. Those two kind of go hand in hand with each other. So,
and from the new album, there is like a lot of new instruments that are very intriguing to me, especially. Can you tell us about some of these instruments? Tone spokes, especially being one that really fascinates me, and also if it was challenging recording on these new types of instruments.
Yeah, so some of them we're still naming. Tone spokes had a couple of names for a while when we landed on Tone spokes. Have you guys seen footage of the behind the scene, of Tone spokes?
Is that the one from Rolling Stone?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that was in there a little bit. It's like the spinning.
Is that it in the picture up on the left there of us? There's like another window. Is that the Tone spokes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll definitely feature that in a video coming up at some point. But it's really a fun instrument. I mean, it's always been a challenge with PVC and Blue Man to have a sustain. We have all these pizzicata, pipe sounds. The drumulum has a little more sustain because you're hitting a tom-tom and then you're recording the tom-tom through a tube. And so you get the sustain of the tom. So it's a little longer than the of a bass PVC note. But we never get a long legato, thing. So the mad scientist team came up with the idea to do this crazy windmill, and
it's beautiful looking. It's really crazy to watch it go.
It's fascinating. It really is.
Well, it's kind of a classic Blue Man instrument in that it takes all this work and trouble just to make this one or two sounds.
Yeah.
It's like the trombone. We're very proud of the trombone that it takes 3 guys. They have to do a lot of work, and it plays 4 notes. The effort to return ratio is the least favorable of any instrument that I can think of.
Wow.
That's part of the Blue Man, vibe, is to have a clunky, difficult instrument that only plays a few notes.
I was watching that video from the Rolling Stone. It's like inside the workshop of Blue Man Productions, and I think one of them was the spinulum, which had like little plastic things and the little bar that slid up and down. Dude,
well, they're really part of the same experiment of creating a sense of sustain note with percussion instruments that don't have sustain, but just by getting the notes so close together that it starts to sound like a sustained note. And so that's another pretty fun instrument that gives us. I'm sorry, I live right by a firehouse, so
it's okay, man.
Sirens.
Well, who are you going to call?
But anyway, so that's another very cool instrument. Yeah.
And we have a couple questions here right quick over in the chat room. It's Nerd World, at Nerd World. One of my friends here on Blab says, can you define what spaghetti Western is?
Well, I mean, we didn't come up with a term, right, Joe? I mean, we're just referring to those Clint Eastwood movies that were shot in Italy.
Yeah.
To look like the West, so they called them spaghetti westerns back in the 60s. And Morricone did the music. Who was the director?
Oh man, but I don't know the director off the top of the head, but someone
online. Where's Jin Shu when you need her? Where is she?
I don't know. Jin Shu. I think she has a photo gig tonight. Sergio Leone.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. J.S. Gilbert in the house with the props there. Look at that. But, one of the guys that actually inspires me, not inspires me, but reminds me of spaghetti westerns, Dwayne Eddy. The old Rebel Rouser sound with that deep muted, guitar sound.
Yeah, that's definitely, it wasn't just, so a lot of people jumped on board. So there's Dwayne Eddy. In a way, there's all the surfer music,
Yeah.
It kind of became part of that little trend, and it's kind of that kind of sound of the guitar.
Yeah.
And so, and I've heard, Tarantino talk about spaghetti Western and kind of the surfer sound and how they kind of informed each other.
Awesome. Well, we got a couple more questions over in the chat, but before we do that, we're going to go ahead and continue on with some of the questions we have lined up. The motto, and Chris, I got to say, this is something that I pretty much live by on a daily basis, is follow your bliss of Blue Man Group. And that has to be honestly the staple of creativity and just inspiration. How has that motto, follow your bliss, transpired into the new works of the album 3?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's all the album is, really. We got busy. A lot of things were happening, we didn't have a record. And at a certain point, we said, you know what, we just have to make a record. And we didn't have a big concept, like the rock tour. We didn't have a plan, a business plan or anything. And we just, we just followed the motto, just like, let's make some music from the heart. And that's what we did. It was a kind of form of following your bliss. And again, this idea of the primal and the technological, I mean, even the very first shows that we did when we picked up an LED sign and here, I'll recreate it. And we hit a drum with it. We were sort of playing with this idea of technology and ancient primal kind of mixing together in an interesting way.
You used the term once, shaman.
Yeah, we use that a lot.
I like that.
Shamanistic, technodelic.
Yeah, technodelic, yeah.
Or primadelic, in a way. I like that even better. But so, you know, that exploration, for some instinctive reason, it remains resonant for us. And so we continue to explore that sonically. You know, it's sort of like the robots keep evolving, but our gooey, primal, you know, not knowing how to find the link selves are still here.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't have any problem with the robots coming. I just want to make sure that the gooey primordial paint can still jump off the drums when they get here, you know?
Exactly.
And I'm going to take another question from the chat from Kelly. Can you talk about the snorkel bone?
Yeah. Well, you know, we played that at the Hollywood Bowl the first time. And it's sort of an idea, you know, the blue men have a little snorkel in the mouth. The snorkel is connected to a kind of didgeridoo, and then the didgeridoo has got a flexible ending that gets twirled around, so it Doppler shifts. And
wow.
So, I mean, there's a little bit of technical, you know, stuff added to it to kind of give, you know, boost the sound and make it weird. But you're basically spinning, you know, a speaker in the air by the time it comes out. And that's just a cool thing. We actually did that a long time ago when we were in La Mama before the New York run. We had speakers and drums that were connected to the spin tubes. And when the tubes spun, they actually spun sound over the audience.
Really?
Yeah, it was really hard to make spin tubes that would spin and still not rotate so that the sound could, you know, you could have a continuous tube that was connected to a speaker. So instead of actually spinning, they had an arm with a piston that moved it like this because the tube couldn't spin. If you understand what I'm saying,
I do actually.
It was basically backstage, connected to a speaker, and then it went up over the audience and then to this hand, and then the hand went like this, and it was all just for the one person right here that would go, oh wow, the speaker's moving around. It was just a shitload of work. Excuse my language.
Oh, you're fine, dude.
That's
crazy.
Get this little effect. But so that's now the in a sense the snorkel bone spirit of that, it lives on.
So that was. You think you'll ever go back to the spinning tubes at some point? You ever think that Blue Man will retrospectively go back to that?
Well, we have spin tubes in New York.
Oh, that is right.
Yeah. No,
I haven't been to New York in a couple of years.
Yeah, no, we're not letting go of the spin tubes. No, and you know, I think the spin tubes really hold up. I kind of miss the spin tubes. I think there's something, you know, there's something epic, but in a kind of that mellow vibe. That's great. I mean, I like the way the smoke rings in Vegas are epically but mellow. You know, epically mellow is a great space to be in.
It's a visually aesthetic effect that is simple but pleasing to the eyes.
Yeah, but it's not just pleasing to the eyes. It's more. It kind of speaks to your soul, doesn't it? I mean,
a little bit, yeah.
Certain things like fire, spinning vortex,
the elements.
Yeah, these, you know, nature vistas, you know, they kind of hit you on a kind of archetypal primordial level that one doesn't even understand. We try to channel that stuff without really even particularly understanding it. We don't have to understand it. But I think that the spin tubes are special. I don't think we should ever go away completely.
So now that Blue Man Group has now launched an all-new world tour, bringing kind of the creativity that is the character show to new regions of the world. Are there any material that you guys have been working on for this new world tour?
Well, the world tour is already up and out, and it sort of has the, just sort of the latest version of the show. I think where a lot of some of our new work is going is just will be in supporting the album. I think it'd be fun to play some of these songs and just kind of be a band, not so much comedic pieces, just sort of primal band song performances,
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Getting those instruments out and, staging those things. So that's kind of, that's one of the things we're thinking about for sure.
Awesome.
Another question in the chat from Haley Polizzi. Back in the day, Blue Man collaborated with some singers. Do you think that'll ever happen again?
Yeah, listen, we had a great time doing that. I'd love to do that again. We haven't, that's not what this particular album is all about.
Right.
But it is certainly a fun thing to do. So, I'm going to say yes.
Just at some point, yes.
Yeah.
And everything with Blue Man always comes full circle, and it's pretty awesome. Go ahead, Dave.
Okay.
Right.
Next question. So Joe and I were really fortunate to be part of the Blue Man's 20th celebration. And here we are 5 years later on your 25th anniversary.
Look at that picture at New York there.
Yeah, that was a fun, special time.
Oh,
yes.
my gosh,
The Blue Men have involved with pop culture so much. So can you talk a little bit about the 25th celebration and possibly where Blue Man could go next?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I'm always a little freaked out by like 25. It just seems so old, so I just like, let's just not even talk about it. But
yeah,
it's like, why not just own it? It's a great thing. It's a great ride. And, but the point is
an accomplishment.
Yeah, well, that's true. And it's not just, and I think that's why it's great that we have an album and a book on the way, because it's about where we're going next. It's not about like looking back too much. It's really about where we are right now and how it's not a show. It's an organization that makes work and experiences. And, we're looking forward to upgrading or whatever, evolving the New York, Boston, Chicago shows. Pretty soon we've got some ideas for.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's always the plan. Sometimes we take longer than we.
That's one thing I love about Blue Man Group is not only are you guys so creative in your music and just creativity, but you also evolve with pop culture. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on the show today, because the name of our show is PopX. It's pop culture based. And so as pop culture evolves, so does Blue Man Group. You adapt, you acquire, you learn, and you just kind of, I don't want to say poke fun at some of the things in pop culture, but you definitely have fun with it.
Roam the landscape, yeah.
Roam the landscape.
Yes. No, it's true. I mean, it's the show that has to change to stay the same. I mean, the show is a recipe. It's, half primal and half pop cultural and technological. And the half that's pop culture has to always change. You can't have a pop cultural reference that no one's heard of because it's 20 years old,
Yeah.
But the paint drumming and the PVC, that doesn't have to go anywhere because those
are the staples of what you
staples,
create.
and it's not referencing anything pop cultural and time, flavor of the month. So that's the recipe, and so we always have to keep up with the times. I mean, it's funny how you talk about coming full circle. When we first opened. Do you remember in 90, back in the, I don't know, did you remember when we used to have a virtual reality piece?
Yes.
Do any of your fans, I mean, you've seen it on the library.
Oh, yes. Was it Virtual Fish?
It was, no, not Artfish.
Artfish
was another one from back in that day. But this was where we had virtual reality goggles and we're sort of sitting at the feast table and there was a kind of a fake video that showed you what we were seeing. But back when we opened in New York,
I don't remember that one. That's before I got on there.
Yeah, there you go. Well, back when we opened, virtual reality was kind of a hot topic, and Jaron Lanier had kind of invented some element of it or something. I don't know what happened, but it was like talked about for 6 months, and then it just disappeared, for 30 years. It's the weirdest thing. And then now, of course, it's Oculus Rift is back. Now it's like the hot topic again.
It's crazy. It's come full circle. Yep.
And so, we're going to have to pull out we're going to have to get the goggles again.
But you have material. You just got to adapt it to something new.
So wait a minute. So you don't have that footage of virtual reality? I'm gonna get it.
Tubes.
Yeah, tubes.
I saw tubes. I saw tubes in Chicago.
No. We didn't have it in Chicago. We got rid of it by then. No, it was long gone by Chicago.
You got to hook a brother up, man.
I got to hook a brother up. No, listen, I'll get it to you. I'll make sure that. I think Laura probably is listening right now. She will personally say,
Laura.
And I want you to play it. We've got the footage of like what we had behind us. I don't think we have good enough footage of like just the show itself. But you can see some good. I had some good dance moves in that. I have to say.
Oh, did you? Did you bust a move?
The crazy dance, the Blue Man crazy dance.
Oh, man. You know what, guys? I just wanted to take a quick minute and pause here. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. This is a very special night on Blab, as you guys know. We have one of the co-founders of Blue Man Group joining us here, the Blue Man Group, off-Broadway sensation. And Blue Man Group has been very near and dear to my heart for the past 15 years.
And you know what? I got to cut in here for your people here, because Joe, you've been near and dear to Blue Man Group's heart for all this time.
Oh,
and
thanks,
you're kind of a infamous, towering presence in our world, and you've almost single-handedly held up the torch for the fans, and because we kind of focus on the work and. So we appreciate it, and it's an honor for me to be on your show. To be honest,
I appreciate it, man. It was always a labor of love, and it was Blue Man Group. I actually met my wife at the Orlando show, and it was just like one of those things. Had not I met Blue Man Group and we've done all this stuff, it's weird. It really is weird.
And that's great. And you and Dave Matthews, he took his wife to their first date to Blue Man.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Fun fact trivia right here on PopX. All right, guys. There's another question I want to ask you, and then we have one more fan question, and then we may open up the seat. For the fan base, is there any news that you can tease for the super fans about any exciting new projects, shows, venues, etc.? And also on the same token, can we expect to see any new material coming into the show, some of the Blue Man Group core shows?
Mm-hmm. Well, we're working on a kind of replacement for what we call scrim drumming at the top of the shows in New York and Boston, Chicago. Mm-hmm. That piece just doesn't excite us the way the other scrim pieces do in the other cities. The music that we have there, some of the ones that use TV Song or Above, or those kind of beginnings. Once you've done those kind of beginnings, it's hard to go back to.
Oh my God, dude! You just
wow, that
took me
was
back,
incredible.
God, I
so
love
many memories.
Damn.
Oh my goodness!
Pardon my French. That was freaking awesome. But yeah, that's awesome. So there will be some updates coming out.
Phil was just telling me about some experiments he was doing with some guys up. It wouldn't be the same thing, but with some shadows, and the Astor is such a small space, but we're just sort of experimenting with that kind of sense of arrival, and just more of a musical piece. So that's one thing, and then the Vegas show. We really like this last round of stuff that we put in there. I mean, I don't know if have you seen.
We're actually, the wife and I were debating on going out there for an anniversary. It'll be our six-year anniversary this year. as husband and wife. So we were
want to
saying,
celebrate with Blue Man.
so
Why
we want to
not?
celebrate at the Luxor and then head out to Sedona, Arizona for a couple of days and just kind of relax, and wine, and have some spiritual time. And
well, have any of the people in the groups seen Creature Feature, that piece?
Oh, Creature Feature. Yeah. I don't know. Has any of the core fans in the room seen the Las Vegas show Creature Feature?
Creature Feature, and then also
it's a
new version of texting, and with the Giacometti, and I've really enjoyed some of these pieces that we've kind of weirdly, instinctively incorporating elements of nature into these sort of technological, industrial settings, but just not in a literal way, but just sort of little bits of weird, insects and fractals and plants and stuff. And something about that feels right to me. Something about that kind of, that's another way to get that kind of primal and technological kind of intersection, collision. So I think we're going to still keep playing with, some of those pieces. We'll see what the new album does to inspire us, So we'll definitely be working on some stuff for the shows there. And then we've got the book coming out. The book's wacky. And
I've heard.
Just
weird.
And
I've heard that yours truly has a name drop in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I heard about that through the grapevine.
I imagine they asked your permission for that.
Yeah, they did.
Because but so that's a fun project, I think. And then I've been working on a secret thing for a while, but I think it has to stay secret because it's not in a place where it can't be secret. Okay,
I get your flow. I get where you're going with that. And we have one more question, and this is from Chadwina.
Yeah, you said she was gone.
She couldn't be here.
Oh, but this is her question, but she's not.
She went ahead and sent it in advance. What was one of the biggest challenges that you guys faced during the new album?
Well, that's interesting. There weren't any really big challenges. There were little challenges. There was a challenge of actually having too many songs. At one point, we had we actually cut some songs. We're just like, once we had some songs that were pretty good, but in a weird way, we wanted to kind of we wanted it to be a body of work. Now, there's some weird. There's the robot song, right? There's Hex Suits. I mean, there's some songs that don't. There's 3, 2, 1, right? They don't all sound the same, but it still feels like it flows in a kind of journey, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah.
And there was one song that was very spaghetti westerny, but we just couldn't get it to pop. I mean, like my rule is I just want to. I don't have to write everything, but I want to love everything.
Yeah.
And I don't have to. It doesn't have to follow my exact taste, even. But I want to, on some level, go. Yeah, that's
it.
Like again, Hex Suits is a good example. Like I would never write that song, but Jeff was sort of came in, and all of a sudden the song just goes, and I'm like, what the hell am I listening to? And then I'm just like. This is great, though. You know what I mean? It sounds like you're in some weird car factory, and things are just going weird, but then they're turning musical. And
that's awesome. Well, Chris, do you have a couple minutes to hang around for maybe a couple of call-in questions?
Yeah. And you know what? Actually, I have some. Can I ask questions? I prefer questions to answers.
Sure.
Don't you agree that answers are overrated?
Answers are overrated.
I think questions are highly underrated.
So if you have answers for Chris Wayne.
Yeah, I want to ask people what their favorite songs are on the album and why. And I can share mine as well if you want.
All right.
I can share mine. I just Tone Spokes is just incredible. I could listen to it over and over and over. And I was just so fascinated for the longest time with trying to figure out what a tone spoke was.
And then I showed her.
And we were driving home from the beach one day and listening to it. And we sat there and analyzed it over and over and over. Just so many different scenarios. So I'm really excited to possibly maybe see that at one of the venues as one of the songs. So.
Yeah, that would be fun to have in one of the venues. Yeah,
Blue Man Ferris wheel going around.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Joe? What's your?
I have to say Guy Cometti, just because I'm a big fan of the Aussie, just the kind of didgeridoo sound.
Yeah. I love that song. Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name? That big artist of mine that I listen to. His name fails me right now, but he stomps a box and he plays a didgeridoo and a slide guitar at the same time.
Right.
Really awesome, just down home kind of Aussie sound, you know. And so when you guys,
I think I might have seen that guy.
Yeah, he's kind of oh shoot, I'll pull up his information. I can't remember that. Anyway,
I think I might have seen him busking somewhere. Is that possible?
It could be.
Because I was like, that guy's amazing. No, so I like Snorkel Bone.
Snorkel Bone. Okay.
I just like that kind of. I'm a sucker for the slow beginning and the big ending. We've got about 5 songs like that on the album. We kept laughing. Like, can we get away with one more? Like the old Blue Man starts small.
Well,
I was just so impressed that the new album brought so much of the old feel back.
Yeah, I just that's what we really wanted to do. We wanted to go, have this be,
and I think that's what the fans were hoping for.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And
I have to say, when I listened to it from start to finish, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm so sorry.
Sure.
When I listened to the whole album from start to finish, and I finished up on the last song, Taurus, there was a moment I had a little bit of an allergic reaction happening right here.
Both of us.
Some kind of little thing.
Yeah, it was an allergy.
Oh, that's so nice. I had that same allergy.
It brought me back to a very special place in my life. And that sound, that shamanistic chant, slow, just melodic. Dude, that got me through some Endless Column and those kind of songs. It got me through so many rough times in my life.
Yeah, the thing that one time my mother asked me why I was listening to punk rock, and she said, it's so angry. Why do you want to become angry? And I said, well, listening to the music doesn't make me angry. It makes me feel understood. And that makes me feel better, not worse. And awesome. I think that music should have a little bit of sadness in it, because life is sad, but not to make you sad, to just make you feel understood so that you can then feel hopeful together. And so a little bit of minor chords to say, you know what, brother, I feel it too, man.
Yeah.
And
I
then
get you.
From there, maybe if we light a fire and, tell some stories, dance a little, maybe, just for one night, it won't feel so,
It won't feel so bad anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Well, guys, if you guys want to call in, we have the seat open. You're more than welcome to call in.
Look at me. I'm squinty. I'm like Clint Eastwood tonight.
Go ahead. Make my day. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right. Does anybody wants to call in? You're more than welcome to. I know we have several Blue Man fans in the chat room as we speak. We have, Haley Polizzi's calling in. This is Haley Bug all the way up from regions in the north. Hello.
Hi, Haley.
Hi.
What's going on, Haley? What's your question for Chris? Or answer?
Back on the 20th anniversary, you guys went back bald and blue, and I said, you guys said that was the last time. Would you ever consider going back bald and blue?
Oh, yeah, of course. We were just talking about that, actually. It's always this problem of we have the new material, especially the Jipad stuff. It just takes, we don't know that, we had to learn it for that thing, and it was so much rehearsal and all that stuff. So we don't know how to do the whole show, which is a funny thing. But, I I think we should go back in the show though, right? For the anniversary. I think we should, don't you?
Yeah,
Yes.
we kind of need to know about it when it's going to happen.
I
so
mean,
we,
listen, if we don't go in
yes.
now, if you don't go in now, I don't know. I mean, like, they're gonna, we're not gonna be allowed to get bald and blue before too long. They're gonna prohibit us.
I'm a poor college student. Got to save that money.
Gotta save that money.
got to save up that money. Got to get up there and see you the 25th, man.
Well, let's get it together, Joe. Joe, let's plan something.
Let's do it, man.
All right, I tell you what, Joe, you make it happen. You talk to Laura.
Okay.
It'll be your thing. I'll
All right.
do whatever you tell me to do.
No. Oh, that's.
It's in Joe's hands. Haley,
I'll
it's in
take on
Joe's
that
hands.
role.
Let's see. Stand up and jump on one leg. No, don't do it. I'm just messing with you. But Haley, thank you so much. You got anything else? right.
No, I just want to say thank you so much for everything, because Blue Man Group really has changed my life. I was probably a little bit later than everyone getting into it, but it really helped me through a lot, and it's awesome. I haven't seen a show in so long, and I just saw a show in Chicago over the summer, and it brought me back, and it was great. So just thank you so much.
Awesome.
Do you have a song on the album that you connect with?
On the new album,
Mm-hmm.
I everything on the album, really. I do. What's the song, Joe? You just said I can't ever pronounce it right.
Giacometti.
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 Oh.
Giacometti.
That one. The build in that just reminds me of the olden stuff. So it's
Awesome.
Good.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Haley. Have a
Thank
blessed
you,
night.
Haley.
Bye,
Bye.
All right. Do we have anybody else want to holler in right quick while we got Chris? All right. We got Katie Kelly calling in all the way from Cincinnati. What's up, Katie?
Not much. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Hi, Katie.
Good. I really don't have a question. I was just calling to say thank you for everything you've done. When the Complex came out back in 2003, I really connected to the lyrics of the songs. I was going through a lot of different things in my life. I'm not going to talk about them right now, but I just felt like an outsider. Like I had to put masks on to just think that everything was okay.
Yeah.
And I really connected to the lyrics, and it just changed my life.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome.
Well, we the lyrics, it's a weird thing for us to have lyrics at all, but I would say that when we created Blue Man, we were in an odd situation. I'm a white male. I was athletic in school. I fit in actually on paper pretty well, almost, you know what I mean? But I felt completely like an imposter and I felt completely disconnected. And I was terrified that I would be discovered at any moment as a complete imposter. And so, I don't know how I got that way. I think our whole culture is just a culture of expatriates who've been kicked out of the tribe and are roaming the earth, pretending to fit in when we know that, sometimes we don't. It's just that feeling of alienation. So the Blue Man character for Phil and Matt and I think in some ways was an externalization of how we felt on the inside, because our outsides, we had mastered the mask to some degree, and we inherited a kind of fit in type of mask. So I think that, it's not a surprise to me that some people would connect to the Blue Man and that feeling of, the feeling of having a mask. And the Blue Man just doesn't have it. He's just completely exposed. And there he is.
Love about him.
Yeah, and he looks a little weird, a little scary. But after a minute, you're like, wow, if he can walk around blue, then maybe I can walk around not being, pretending to be something I'm not,
Exactly.
Awesome.
Not everyone gets that deep with the show, and I don't care if they do necessarily, but that's kind of what it is for us. And so I think that the fans like you guys really get it on a deep level, and that really means a lot to us.
I remember the first night that I got the Complex, I was reading the book. Like, Oh my God, they wrote this about me because it was what I was going through at that time.
Yeah, it connected with so many people. Even Alex, when she was working in the hospital, she was like,
and recently too, I've been listening to that song, The Complex, and because I've just had this theory that, you know, I'm waking up, going to work, doing the same thing every day, and time's just slipping away. And that's just kind of had
you can't remember anymore what it was like to play.
No.
Right. I mean, honestly, that's how it's
you have
felt.
to detach yourself from life.
I forgot about that song, and we just kind of got back into the Blue Man music more often, and I was playing The Complex, and I'm like, wow, this is me every day going back and forth to work every day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I also feel sometimes when I go to work, even though it's my bliss, if you're not careful, you can be going down, you know, where the breath is the only sound, you know, like 7 years till you see the sun. I mean, you just get caught in the rut because that's life. And
yeah, so many people are caught in that, and that's you know,
we all do. We can't help it, you know, but you got to get up to the roof once in a while.
You know, like the sad part, and then
Say again.
I like how that song has kind of like two parts where it's like really kind of depressing at the beginning, and then it builds up, and then it's just like really uplifting at the end.
The Complex in particular, that one?
The song.
Yeah. Well, Katie, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. We appreciate it.
Okay, that's really great. Thank you very much.
All right, Chris,
we'll see you, sweetheart. Stay safe in Cincinnati.
Bye, Katie.
Bye, darling.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, Chris, can we take one more and then we'll be done?
Sure.
One more call in, guys. One final call in if anybody wants to call in. All right, we have one of Blab's very own, Mr. Mark Profit, calling in, talking to the co-founder of Blue Man Group. Hey, Mark, what's up, buddy?
Well, I thought
Mark, the creator of my beautiful 3D PopX logo. Go ahead.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for mentioning that. Well, I wanted to mention that Blue Man Group actually helped to, in a way, create BitTorrent and a whole bunch of other stuff online. What? Yes. What? So the Complex, actually, I used to take people to Blue Man Group in Chicago a lot. You know, anybody that came in, I'd take them to go see the show. And then I saw the touring show. It's Pine Knob, which is not called DT Music Center. It's Pine Knob. It'll always be Pine Knob to me. But I saw that, and this is at the time when I was working with the BitTorrent and trying to figure out how to enable people, artists, to be able to access the whole world and get paid to do it and be able to do this. And I saw that show and thought about, I just looking around and seeing how much of an impact it had on the people and how it was changing their lives right then and there in that moment. And I said, I want to do that. You know, I know I do a lot of technology stuff, but I want to do that. I think that's where the world is going now, because the technology stuff, like, I mean, you saw me there, Joseph, you know, you asked to have a 3D logo, and I just hit print on a machine and it did it for me.
Yeah.
It was nothing, right? But that wasn't the important part, right? It was the fact that I made it for you.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that I see it's happening that did really register with me with the Blue Man Group. In that one moment, it really came across. You had Venus Hum playing and all these things going on, and how important that is. And that's where people need to be in making those human connections, despite all this technology or with this technology. And so actually I have a question. I want to provide an answer to you, but I have a question. What technology or any type of solution would you need to help you do what you do better, or what's anything that's holding you back? Keep in mind that I will make it happen.
Well, you know, it is frustrating when technology is prohibitively hard to figure out how to do it. I love things where you just go, turn on, and it turns on.
There it is.
Like I want all of the instructions to go away. That's one thing. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, and then the little places in the world where they have, I think we all appreciate it. You know, it's like that's good design. You know, but I'm still amazed at how long it's taking to I have 2 remotes to. I'm like, why do I have? I know I don't need 2 remotes. It's
You
my
should be
fault.
able to just say like,
yeah, but that's just me. Why are there even
Watch.
remotes at all?
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just like, turn on and, give me this show. I mean, I know that we're there, but I have to do all this setup to get there. And people are like, oh, you can do that now. No, I can't do that now. I want to just say, set yourself up. I don't want to have to do the setup to make it work. Anyway, I'm just babbling.
oh, you're fine, man.
Well, that's
It's just like the people that are really advanced are able to have a simple life. But if you don't spend a lot of time on the technology, then you don't get to benefit from that simplicity that the others it's hard earned, the simplicity,
Yeah, it is. Mark, thank you so much, man. That's awesome insight. I'm glad that
So
Blue Man Group.
actually, wait, just to be clear, what I've asked Mark to do is to change the entire world in that regard, not just
that would only be the 4th time.
work. Okay, good.
Just
well,
4.
I'd like to hear more about what you've done. I'll have to have Joe let me know all the stuff you're working on. That sounds amazing, and I think that instinctively it sounds like you're trying to use technology, but towards these super heightened human ends, and I think that's the kind of people we need out there.
Well, that's the next step.
Because there's nothing wrong with technology. It's just it's just a tool, right? It's whatever we make it. So, using it for those kinds of things is just the way to go.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mark.
All right. Thank you
All
for
right,
having me.
thanks,
And
man.
it's wonderful to be able to actually talk to the non-blue guy who helped me make a lot of people really happy many times.
It's pretty
Well,
cool,
that's
bro.
great, man. Keep it up. Keep up the good work.
All right, Mark. Be blessed, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. All right, guys. Well, we're going to get ready and wrap it up. Chris, thank you so much for taking out this 1 hour with us just to talk about stuff that we're passionate about. And
well, it was beautiful experience for me. This helps remind me why we do this, and I'm moved that people are out there and still being moved by the work. So that's important, because
of course we're moved by the work, man.
Always.
I mean, lives have been changed forever because I don't want to say it's something that you have created, but it's just that the presence of the Blue Man and just his mystique and mysticism and the shaman quality has brought so many people together and connected in their lives, like those little dots in their lives that's been lost or just kind of void. Blue Man Group has kind of filled those spots in. I know I'm speaking for myself when I say this, but it's kind of filled those gaps in my life where I really needed like a voice of reason and a voice to think outside of my bubble. And so Blue Man Group has provided that vehicle for me to be able to just think outside of the bubble.
And it's just like, too, being at the show. I mean, it doesn't matter how many times I see the show. It's like the one here in Orlando. It's like I know it up and down, left and right, but it's like it's a different experience every single time. And the emotions are just palpable. And, I always just want to cry just because it just, I have that heart for Blue Man and it always will. So thank you so much for everything and all the opportunities you guys have given us. So, and I hope they continue on into the future. So
All right, Chris. All right, man. We're done, dude. That's it.
All right, don't forget the virtual reality video. You got to follow up.
I will. I'll send you an email afterwards, and I'll remind you.
And we're going to get with Laura about the 25th, and we hope to see you soon.
We hope to see you when you do this 25th
Yes.
show.
Yes.
Wait, when's your anniversary?
October the
10th. And we're going to, during that time, we're going to hopefully try to make it out to Vegas.
Laura and Wes were at our wedding, right?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Blue Man Fridge.
Yes.
Forever.
That's good. Well, you got to, they're good people. So
yeah, awesome. Well, Chris, thank you so much, man. This has truly been awesome. And we'll see you soon, hopefully.
Yes.
All right. We'll do it.
All right.
Thanks.
Right.
I'm gonna close you out, Chris.
All right. Good night.
I hate to do it, but I'm gonna close you out. Bye, my friend. All right, guys.
Okay.
All
I
right.
have to run,
All right.
finish up, wrap up. I love you.
Okay.
I am going to bed.
She's a nurse. She's an RN. So she's going to go. I'm going to wrap it up.
Yes.
You go ahead and
So-
do what you got to do. Thank you, Alex, for joining me
Yes,
tonight.
thanks for having me as a co-host.
This is cool. So you've actually been on my podcast. This is really neat.
Yes, hopefully you'll
All right.
see me more often. Thank you guys. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us.
All right. So Alex is over and out. Guys, thank you so much for joining me here tonight. And, next week we got a really cool episode coming up where we're going to be talking about Captain America Civil War. It's going to be awesome. Like I said, it's coming out this weekend. Definitely check it out. We also have a hotline. Now, if there's something tonight that we've discussed that's just kind of just pierced your heart, or you want to comment on something for next week's show, be sure to call us. We have a hotline. It's 850-417-PopX. And for you guys that don't want to sit there and try to figure out POPX, that is 850-417-7679. And next week episode, like I said, it's going to be Captain America Civil War. Need I say more? I mean, so get your geek on. And for all things social media on PopX, follow us at PopXcast. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're all over the place. Here on Blab, just be sure to follow us. Even on Pinterest. We're on Pinterest, if you can believe it. And if something tonight that has kind of inspired you and you want to send us an email, you can do that. PopXcast@gmail.com. From all of us here at PopX team, I want to thank Lindsay Badger over in the chat for holding the chat room down this entire time, being awesome sauce, being just amazing at what she does. And I want to thank my guy right over here, Mr. Mike Ippolito up in Atlanta, Georgia, for doing his amazing work and effort. Oh, snap. It's Three Stewies drumming his Blue Man Group. That's funny. That is funny. All right, Mike. But you guys take care, and we will see you on episode 14 of PopXcast. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. From everyone at PopXcast, thanks for listening. Be sure to give us a 5-star rating over on iTunes and subscribe for more great content. Drop us an email, popxcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Blab, and YouTube at PopXcast. Get your geek on.